And then he came back on the air. All right, we've got a winner. Yes, John Conte of Jersey City, and he's actually a bassist with Blood, Sweat, and Tears. David Clayton Thomas still belting it out between jingles. All right. Yeah.
What absolutely blows my mind, John, is that you remember the details. You remember what you won.
I won a copy of Glory Days, Bruce Springsteen biography, and a T-shirt, and maybe a whistle. I don't know.
We always try to give away a whistle. That's the win to me, that you guys care about the music. It's never about me. It's always about the music, which is why we're here live today to play some live music. Something I always love hearing Marc play live, Marc Rivera. Let's get to the Revolver album. What do you say? I'm not even going to introduce the song.
The Revolver album happens to be my favorite Beatle album, and there were albums back then. And I'm not supposed to share this, but I told Ringo that because they always have a Beatle pin of some kind, and I had the Revolver pin on my lapel. I said, "This is my favorite Beatle album because it's mine too, but don't tell anyone."
Marc Rivera in the band at Q104.3 live. Let's do it.
We gotta do this. 1, 2, 3, 4.
For all these guys, Marc wrote his autobiography, Sideman, in pursuit of the next gig. And I love this book because it takes us into the world. It's not just juicy gossip. It's about the world of how it is that it's always about the next gig. It's always about where we're working. And, you know, we're the flagship station for Billy Joel at the Garden, and I've got Billy tickets to give everyone who's listening coming up at 9:20.
Everybody's listening.
Well, I've got a pair of tickets to to give to someone of everyone listening. Let me rephrase that correctly. So when Billy announced a couple weeks ago that he's putting an end date on this, that it's going to be July 24. I've never been so busy in the works, fielding phone calls from everything from, is he sick?
Yeah,
to like, what are you going to do now, Marc?
People are freaking out.
Marc, so what was it like for you guys, for the band?
Well, we kind of had, we had anticipated, I keep referring to the photograph of then Cassius Clay standing over Sonny Liston like, that's right, that's how it is. In other words, he wants to go out as a champion, and he's not going out. He wants to leave the residency on a high note, not like we're dribbling out. 100th shows, we will do our 100th consecutive show in March of 2024. That's a staggering statistic. And past that, in July of 2024, it will be Billy's 150th show at the Garden. And it will be my 142nd show with him. I've only missed 8 shows with him. The incredible thing is, I've gotten so many calls saying, "Oh, is he okay? Is he retired?" And people say, "Hey, I heard Billy's retired." I said, No. He doesn't want to drive his family crazy. He wants to play music. He loves being out on the road. We love this band. We love music. A couple of people asked Ringo one time, "Oh, you're going to be 83. You're going to retire soon." He says, "And what the hell would I do?" That's what musicians do. But
my favorite quote from Keith Richards, who said, "Why do you keep going out with the Stones? You don't need the money." As he said, "Because no one applauds you when you take the college out at home." That's kind of it. So, right. So, producer Trevor just pointed out that the show in July will be show number 104. So if you could play just like a third longer, then it could be the 104.3 show.
We'll do it.
Do a second encore. Do a second encore, so we can call it like .3.
I'd just like to say, I can't thank Ken enough. He's championed every part of our career, and I may say our because collectively, we're here, we do what we do. We don't get the voice that we normally get without Q, without you, without iHeartRadio. He said something in the back of my book saying, blah, 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 I'm talented, okay, I appreciate it. No, but I don't mean to. But he said something which really is important about the book. It's the other side of a sideman. In other words, okay, this guy on Billy Joel's piano, that's all groovy, but I'm the guy who's fortunate enough, as Jeff said before, I married a great woman. We're married 40 years. She put up with my crap all these years, and she allowed me to have this dream. So I want to thank all of that, more importantly than anything, because I do what I do, but I couldn't do anything without her. And without Ken. So
and for all of our wives who put up with our crazy schedules, one of my favorite lines in this entire book, there was a moment in time when Marc was actually in the Rolling Stones.
Yes, I was.
And he didn't get on stage, but he was hired to be in the Rolling Stones, and they shared this, and you said, "I need a pair of leather pants." And like all good wives, and Sandra said, "If you think you need that."
Exactly. I said, "Sweetheart, I'm going to be in the Rolling Stones. I better get some more leather pants." She goes, "If that's what you think, dear." And of course, the Rolling Stones gig went away because Keith Richards said, if Bobby Keys is in the band, there's no tour. So I get a call back. I said, "Sweetheart, I'm not in the band. I'm not in the Rolling Stones anymore." She goes, "If that's how it is, dear."
So I want to dedicate this song to Marc Rivera. It's in hardcover now, but someday he will be a paperback writer in New York's classic rock. Q104.3. Classic rock. Q104.3 live from the cutting room in Breakfast with the Beatles. Thank you, AARP New York, for bringing us together here. We've only just begun, as the old Carpenter song goes. Nobody's stopping as we keep going through Paul McCartney's history, celebrating his birthday a couple of weeks early. We've got Ringo's birthday coming up in early July. We're going to do a little Ringo thing at the end of this to celebrate our favorite drummer. And, you know, we talked about all the phases of his careers. We went through his stats in the first hour of 188 original songs with the Beatles, 22 solo albums, 7 Wings albums, 5 classical albums. He's written and various accounts, but somewhere around 700 songs, 692, but probably more. And again, as we're sitting here now, he's having breakfast, he's writing a song, so it's impossible to count. But over 200 songs were hits, over 100 in the top 10, 33 number ones, and for me, the coalescence of the best, just as bands grow. Wings started out in a bus, just a group of friends like these guys did. He brought in Denny Lane from the Moody Blues, hired Denny Sywell, New York drummer, and now in California to play. And Denny told the story that they were, touring around, and they were in Scotland, and they were playing, and they were staying in a little B&B, and evidently the gruff Scotsman who was running it, they agreed on a price for rooms, and he tried to up the ante because it was Paul, and he and Paul, this is Denny Sywell's story, and he and Paul had words at the desk, and he said, Paul's elbow might have grazed the man's chin slightly as they were discussing the new price. And suddenly, their daughter Heather, who he had adopted, who was Linda's daughter, was running through the rooms going, "Get up, wake up, we gotta go. She was waking everybody up. And early morning, we're waking up, and we just piled on the bus, and we left. And he said, he had left the band right after that, but the next album, and there was a song on it called Band on the Run. And he said, I always thought that had to be it, because I'm with Paul McCartney, but we're beating it out of town before the authorities come. Anyway, I asked Marc Ribler, hey Marc, you think we could do this one? Because to me, that album is a quintessential Wings album. So let's do it live here at the Cutting Room on New York's classic rock, Q104.3. Pagano, Band on the Run at Q104.3, New York's classic rock. Marc Ribler with a new album coming out on Wicked Cool Records, co-produced with Stevie Van Zandt. The band Story Road. Charlie Drayton, an old friend on drums. Jack Daly from The Disciples on bass. And your first single, Armageddon, out June 30th. Congratulations.
Thank you, Ken.
Stephen would be with us, but evidently he has something to do in the Netherlands this evening with some guy named Bruce Springsteen. So, because I was thinking, honestly, if there was a few days off, he would probably fly back here and do this, and then go back. As in, say, hey, what else do I got to do? And he would be here. So, we know that Billy Joel does shows, and you guys do stadium shows. And, there's a show that he's doing every month at the Garden, which now has an end date. And as your flagship station for Billy Joel at the Garden, the residency, I've got a pair of tickets to give you for the listening audience out there not in the cutting room. There's a pair of tickets coming up in just a little bit. Sorry, guys, but there's a few 100,000 people out there, and somebody's going to need some tickets. Good consolation, if you want, we can get you some Michael sauce. Michael's in Brooklyn, where we've gone so many times. The marinara, the tomato and basil, the puttanesca, the arrabbiata, the filetto di pomodoro, the Sunday gravy. There was an element there once upon a time, but whether you're brand new, whether you've never been there before, or it's me walking in, you're greeted the same way. And the key is, everything is fresh, all the time. That's why they had to make the sauce at Michael's, because you can't make it in a vat, it needs to be in a factory. Just go look for it in the supermarket. Michael's in Brooklyn. It's the best Michael's in Brooklyn. Back with more Breakfast with the Beatles and your Billy Joel tickets right after this. We are live at the cutting room. Thank you to AARP New York for bringing us home to East 32nd Street. The cutting room, it's a place where we all hang out. If you ever want to find us, just come find us here at the cutting room, because it's great music. 1968 Murderers Row, June 29th with Mike Fornatell playing here. My buddy, riding shotgun here, Mr. Marc Rivera, and we got our Billy Joel tickets to give away. But the thing about Billy Joel, I always remember last play at Shea, and Mark, it's one of my favorite stories, is that it's the last play at Shea Stadium, and Billy said that, well, Paul McCartney's got to be here, right? He opened Shea Stadium, he's got to close it.
There's a good chance that Paul's coming. We're all like, yeah, great.
But the thing is, it was tight, because the planes were delayed. Paul flies into JFK. And he must have arrived like 10 o'clock or so.
A little later than that.
About 10:30, 10:15?
It was incredibly tight, and I believe he made it from the tarmac. I think they took him off the plane. It's, where the baggage goes down. I think they put him right on the tarmac, got him in the car. He got from JFK to Shea in about 11 minutes. You can't. I don't think you can get the baggage claim in 11 minutes. Right?
They had him you couldn't go through security. You have to just.
No. We're all like, well, we did one encore, one of Billy's encore, like You Made Me Right or whatever it was, and then we're looking around, oh crap.
So you do not know at this point.
We don't know if he's going to make it. He wanted to come. It was in his heart to do it, but we didn't know if it could physically happen.
So my question to Mark was always, how many songs did you rehearse? Did you decide in advance what you were going to play?
Rehearse. We don't rehearse.
So
we didn't rehearse anything.
So Paul McCartney, you're told at the last second he's there.
Well, one of the greatest parts of that whole thing was Paul comes out and he's waving, as I call it, the Madonna. He's waving his bass guitar. It's worth about $600 million, in my opinion. He's like, hey, hi. It's like, whoa. And he's like a kid. He's rolling up his white shirt and sleeves. And he's just like, all right. He's like, so I'm standing there. Oh, yeah, great.
Who said I saw standing there?
Paul and Billy, one of the two of them, because they were huddled around.
And you've not worked this up at all?
Not a stitch.
It's just, again, the level of musicianship. Anybody want to go see Billy Joel at the Garden? Caller 25 right now at 888-872-1043 is getting a pair of tickets to see Billy Joel's sold out November 22nd show at Madison Square Garden. We already sold out November.
Of course we did.
Just want to understand. Sold out as we count down to the final shows of the record-breaking residency, including with Billy's 150th lifetime performance at MSG in July of 2024. Good luck. Give us a call. Brandon's in the studio right now. Let's show you that moment. Let's say, well, let's hear it. This is Paul McCartney coming out on stage with Marc and this guy Billy Joel and the band at Chase Stadium on New York's classic rock Q104.3. Amazing how that happens right off the bat. I saw her standing there, and Marc and the guys just fall into a perfect version of it. And Marc, I asked you, how is it possible? What if somebody doesn't know that song? And what did you say?
If you don't know that song, you don't belong on that stage.
By the way, congratulations to John Milioti of West Harrison, our 25th caller who won tickets to see Billy Joel, the sold-out show at Madison Square Garden in November. We've got your Billy tickets all this weekend on Q104.3, New York's classic rock. Ken Dashow live breakfast with the Beatles with this amazing band. And talking about Paul McCartney, his bass playing, all the songwriting aside, just as a musician, he's one of the most melodic bass players I've ever heard. You can take what John Entwistle did, what everybody did, and turning a beat upside down, inside out, in Paperback Writer and things where you see he doesn't play the same line twice. When he plays in verse 1, he doesn't play in verse 2. And just in a soft thing like Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, just punctuating it, pizzicato these little bass lines. But the energy, and John Conte's playing bass for us today. John, the energy when Paul pedals the bass, when it's just bumble, 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 and you think about what he did in Get Back. And this song has always just lit me up, the energy of it. It's just something fun, you know, it's something that was kind of silly. They were down in Nashville, and, you know, they stayed at the farm of this guy named Curly Putnam Jr. And again, every word, everything you saw, coffee cup, headphones, there's a song in everything. Hey, bracelet, there's a song in every single thing or name that you heard. So, Rich Pagano, you were the one said you wanted to do this one. Let's do some Junior's Farm. Let's go back to Tennessee, New York's classic rock. Q104.3 is Breakfast with the Beatles, live from the cutting room.